18.
Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Shireen Bhan. The headlines we're tracking for you this evening. The window to exchange 2,000 rupee banknotes opens tomorrow. RBI Governor advises people not to rush to banks, adds he cannot speculate. What will happen once the deadline for deposit and exchange ends on the 30th of September? Says the next course of action will depend on the number of notes that return. Also says the impact on the economy will be very, very marginal. Stock markets start the week on a positive note. The Sensex up over 200 points. The Nifty gains over 100 points. Mid-caps outperform the blue chips. Gold prices remain steady around record levels. The Adani Group stocks post their biggest rally since the Hindenburg report. The combined market cap of 10 listed entities gains 1 lakh crore rupees just today. The overall market cap is now above 10 lakh crore rupees. Relief for Go First. The company appellate tribunal allows the airline's voluntary insolvency proceedings to continue, refuses to allow lessors to take possession of planes, says that lessors are at the liberty to raise the issue of lease termination, aircraft possession before the NCLT. Prices of electric two-wheelers are set to rise as the government cuts subsidies from 15,000 rupees per kilowatt hour to 10,000 rupees per kilowatt hour. The cap on incentives reduced from 40% to 15%. The changes will come into effect for all electric two-wheelers registered after the 1st of June this year. European privacy regulators impose a record $1.3 billion penalty on Facebook's parent company Meta. The company has been punished for transferring personal data of European Union citizens to the US. Jammu and Kashmir hosts the third G20 Tourism Working Group meeting in Srinagar amidst tight security. This is the first such international event in the valley since its special status was revoked 4 years ago. Delegates from China, Turkey and Saudi will not attend the meeting. BCCI ropes in Adidas as the kit sponsor for the Indian cricket team. The financial details are yet to be disclosed. Well, let's go straight to the big story that we have been tracking closely. The Reserve Bank Governor Shaktikanta Das has advised people not to rush to banks even as the window to exchange or deposit the now withdrawn 2,000 rupee note opens on the 23rd of May, which is 24 hours later. He's urged people to take their time as there is a 4-month window. Speaking to reporters in the capital, the governor said that the September 30th deadline is to streamline the process, adding that the note will continue to remain legal tender. However, the governor said he did not wish to speculate on the fate of the 2,000 rupee note post the 30th September deadline. He said that the next course of action will depend on the number of notes that return. The governor said that the RBI will be sensitive to issues and challenges faced by people justifying the need for the withdrawal. He even said that the number of 2,000 rupee notes in circulation has come down to 3.62 lakh crores at the end of FY23 as opposed to a peak of 6.7 lakh crore rupees at the end of 2017-2018. Governor Das also asserted that the impact on the economy due to the withdrawal will be, and I quote, very, very marginal.
You have also raised the question after 30th September, what? Now we expect most of the notes to come back. That is our expectation at this stage. We will see how much notes come back. And as we approach 30th, we will decide, at that stage. And the legal tender character, we have said that it continues. We have not said that, this will happen or that will happen. Let me assure the people who are abroad, the people who are now in the foreign countries, and let me assure people who are within India, कि जो भी कठिनाइयां आप फेस करते हैं, we will be sensitive to that.
Well, that is the RBI governor. There has, of course, been a great degree of discomfort, of unease over the weekend as people grapple with this new development that came in on Friday evening. Lata joins us now to explain how this exercise by the Reserve Bank is different from the demonetization of 500 and 1,000 rupee notes that took place in 2016. Lata, the Reserve Bank governor also reiterating today, as we have been as well, that the 2,000 rupee note continues to be legal tender. And that's the big difference between what has happened on Friday versus what happened on the 8th of November 2016, which was demonetization.
why there won't be too much of worry this time. The amount of notes being withdrawn today has a total value of 3.6 lakh crore. And in 2016, the total value of the notes withdrawn was 15.4 lakh crore. It was 85% of the notes in use. This time it is just about 10% of total currency value in use. The other big difference, now 4 months are being given to withdraw. At that time, there were only 2 months given. At that time, there were a lot of identity details that you had to give because it was clearly to, remove black money. So those who were stashing, details were asked. Now, no details. If you have money, you just go and you can exchange it. The idea of only 10 notes at a time is because a bank branch may have only that much cash at any point in time, and everyone should have a fair chance. So at a time, it's only 10 notes per person, but you can go any number of times to any number of branches. Though I'm not quite sure so many people have so many 2,000 rupee notes, except perhaps some very, very supremely rich people. Now, impact of this on the system, the first place you can already see the impact on the bond yields. The interbank call rate, that is one-day money, which banks borrow from one another for immediate mismatches in their currency, that has already fallen by about 5 to 10 basis points. So have the short-term yields, and even the long-term. The 10-year fell a little, but it's corrected. The initial reaction was to dip lower. What are economists telling us? Now, there is a range of expectations because no one knows how the customer or how the consumer will behave. On the one end is Citi, which says that they expect only 5 to 10% of bank deposit to increase substantially because they feel people will come and exchange. After all, why did they keep the currency as currency? Because they wanted it as notes. So people will take back smaller currency and very little will be permanently deposited as bank deposits. They expect that a lot of people who are hoarding cash don't want the banks to know, the banking system know that they're hoarding cash. So they may perhaps spend it as jewelry. There is an expectation that consumption will go up of high value consumption goods like jewelry. And the Monetary Policy Committee, which will meet on June 8th, will now perhaps not change its stance. It was widely expected that they will remove the stance of withdrawal of liquidity. Where is the liquidity? After all, there was tight liquidity in the banking system. So the expectation was they'll change the stance. Now they won't change because liquidity is coming back to the system. That's Citi's expectation. On the other end is the Kotak expectation, which is that maybe 1.5 lakh crore will come back and stay in the system and get gradually removed. So immediately there will be flush liquidity and yields will be lower. More importantly, bank margins can improve because they don't have to raise deposit rates. So their margins will be as good as the fourth quarter. And here, the Kotak economist who passed now also, like Citi, Samiran believes that there could be some consumption of high-value goods like jewelry. We also spoke to the Goldman Sachs economist. He also believes only short-term yields will go down. There shouldn't be any impact on longer-term yields because this is a low-value impact. So to put it all together, short-term yields go down. The monetary policy may remain in a withdrawal accommodation mode for some more time. Expect jewelry sales to pick up.
All right, Lata, many thanks for joining us with that very comprehensive explanation of what we should expect. But how are banks, markets, jewelers, retailers coping with the withdrawal of the 2,000 rupee note? Our reporters have been out and about across major cities, starting with a bank branch in the capital. Take a look.
Well, 3 days after RBI's decision to withdraw rupees 2,000 note from circulation, banks across India are now gearing up for the deposit and exchange facility. Even though the deposit facility is still on across all banks, the exchange facility will start tomorrow at 10 a.m. RBI has also put down an SOP for such deposits and exchanges. Even though RBI has said that no identity cards and KYC will be required for exchange of 2,000 rupees notes, the banks have said that a basic deposit form will be needed to be filled by customers for the exchange of 2,000 rupees notes. They've said that this is for their internal auditing purposes. Even though, according to banking industry sources, the State Bank of India here on the Parliament Street, which is the largest bank branch in Delhi NCR, has seen approximately 56 lakh rupees deposited in 2,000 rupees denomination alone on Saturday.
सरकार की सोच तो मैं तो कहता हूँ ये बेटर किया उन्होंने जो भी किया है अच्छी बात है। ये पहली बात तो मैं तो यही कहूँगा कि 2000 का नोट मार्केट में आना ही नहीं चाहिए था।
I had to deposit 2,000 rupee notes. There was no hassle whatsoever. Except that the queue was long. So being a senior citizen, I jumped the queue and was able to deposit 40,000 in 2,000 rupee notes.
And sir, was there a form that you had to...
No, there was no form at all. You could just go and deposit.
कस्टमर आता है आजकल कोशिश करता है कि 2000 का नोट पहरा मेरा निकल जाए, दो चल जाए, चाहे उसको इतने पता भी है कि टाइम अभी 3 महीने का है, बैंक में दे सकते हैं। मैं कल शुक्र और शनिवार इतवार तक मेरे पास 8-9 नोट आए कस्टमर से मुझे लेने पड़े। अब जाके मैं आधा घंटा बैंक में लाइन में लग के चेंज करा के आया हूँ।
Sources also suggest that rural areas are expected to see more rush compared to the urban areas. Now, private banks are also formulating an internal SOP for such things. So the basic things that we know are that only 10 notes, which is 20,000 rupees at once, will be allowed to be exchanged from tomorrow onwards at 10.
RBI announced that it has decided to withdraw 2,000 rupee notes from its circulation. RBI has claimed that this decision won't affect the people in any manner whatsoever. Now, how exactly various markets, various sectors are reacting to this announcement? To find that out, we are right now in Mumbai's Zaveri Bazaar area. This is the hub for gold and jewelry as far as the satellite city is concerned. We are joined by a couple of jewelers. So I would like to know from you first that, since this announcement, have you witnessed any unusual development? Are you getting more customers with a 2,000 rupee note?
Certainly, we have seen an increase in inquiries, and a little footfalls also has gained. And we expect more in the coming days. In the whole 4-month period, we expect a good amount of sales increase in this in the 2,000 notes denomination.
So you are saying over the weekend there were more customers who came with the 2,000 rupee note?
Yes, a little more, and more of them were inquiring about we are accepting it or no.
Okay. So आपका जो experience है वो भी same है या आपका अनुभव अलग रहा है?
नहीं, बिल्कुल जिस तरह से शुक्रवार को RBI ने अनाउंसमेंट किया कि 2000 के नोट बैंड हो चुके हैं, तो उस दिन से लेके आज तक कोई खास 2000 के नोट लेकर कस्टमर आया नहीं है हमारे पास में। शादियों की भरमार है। 14 जनवरी से 14 जुलाई तक 70 लाख शादियां हैं।
Nowadays, lot of people are coming with 2,000 rupees notes only.
Can you give me an average figure, sir? How many, percentage-wise, or maybe how many times this number has grown?
Approximately, it has increased by 20 to 25 times more.
As you heard these retailers, of course, the customers, the footfall has increased, and also the customers who are bringing 2,000 rupees note with them, that number has increased by at least 20 to 25 times. That's what the gentleman here said. And good news for retail industry, that's what these retailers have to say. In Mumbai, with camera person Deepak, this is Santya for CNBC-TV18.
Well, that was Santya in Mumbai. Let's go across to Jude in Chennai. Jude, take us through what you're seeing in Chennai.
Well, I'm in a residential neighborhood called Koratur in Chennai, which is populated by various retail stores. In fact, a pharmacy, a bakery, and several kirana stores in the location I'm coming to you from. The interesting part, what we've been picking up here, is that these very stores who probably did not see a 2,000 rupee denomination for the longest time have now begun seeing a re-influx of these denominations insofar as purchasing is concerned. But the interesting part is just this. While most stores say they continue to accept these notes because they continue to remain legal tender, the fact is there are some stores that are very wary about whom they accept these notes from. In fact, I'm joined by a kirana store manager, Narayanan, who says that he's begun seeing more 2,000 rupee notes as time goes by. Yethana note vandirukku last 2 days. Okay, so he's seen 3 notes come by. Yaarilla kudukranga accept pandringala neenga? Okay, so what he's been saying is the fact that he's been accepting these notes, yes, because they can't reject it. It's still legal tender, but it is only known people or regular customers rather whom they accept it from. But the situation isn't exactly the same across these stores. In fact, a couple of stores nearby have told me very clearly that they can't, take the hassle of waiting in banks to exchange these notes, and they've stopped accepting it altogether. Any meaning accept panvingla? All right, so it's only known regular customers who he's going to be accepting these notes from. But incidentally, it isn't all stores that are seeing the same situation. In fact, there's one retail establishment that's seeing a lot more of these notes than the others, and that's petrol stations. In fact, I caught up with a petrol station attendant just half an hour back to find out what the note scene has been like, and they tell me that there's been at least 50 to 75 notes that they've been receiving on an everyday basis since that announcement. Let's listen in to what this petrol attendant told me just a little while ago.
Weekly once we used to get a 2,000 rupee note only once a week. Now each fuel attendant has begun receiving 10 to 20 notes on a shift. Today alone, I've managed to collect all these notes. There are 5 fuel attendants in this petrol station. In all, we've managed to collect 50 to 75 2,000 rupee notes per day. Since there is time to change notes, our owner instructed us to accept 2,000 rupee notes. Customers who fill fuel for 100 rupees have also paid for it with 2,000 rupee notes.
Well, from Chennai to Bengaluru, Ritu joins us now to get us a mood check from the city's retail and jewellery hub. Ritu.
Here in what is a very busy chickpea market in the heart of Bangalore, many retailers we've been speaking to here say there's been no significant impact of the 2,000 rupee banknotes being withdrawn. Some shoppers are coming to use their currency, but largely the transactions have been in digital payments, with the exception of one of the shopkeepers who told us that his sales have gone up by almost 20% thanks to more and more people coming forward to buy saris using their 2,000 rupee currency.
People are coming and usually they're paying as usual. It's not compulsory that they paying by through 2,000 only.
With some people who may want to get rid of their 2,000 notes, are they using them to buy goods?
No, but I'm still no.
अभी तो आ रहे हैं लेकिन तो थोड़ा कम बहुत कम आ रहे हैं
मतलब जैसे
वो पैसे तो लेके तो बहुत कम आते हैं आजकल तो क्या यूपीआई और कार्ड ज्यादा चलते हैं अपने दुकान में
तो ऐसा कोई केस नहीं आया जहाँ पे वो अपना एक्सचेंज के लिए साड़ी खरीदने आ रहे हो
नहीं ऐसे तो नहीं
per day 5 to 6 customer they are 5 to 6 customer they are bringing 2,000 note
and usually is the transaction
usually not now they are bringing after announcing the TV now they are bringing 2,000 notes per shopping, madam.
Before we used to see very few notes. Nowadays we are seeing 2,000 notes more. People are coming with 2,000 notes for buying saris.
Well, from the buy lanes of Chickpea, we're here now in Gandhi Bazaar to speak to some of the jewelers to understand what the public reaction has been since the announcement of the 2,000 rupee banknote being withdrawn from circulation.
So far, what people now discussing with media, so many customers are coming to purchase the jewelry with 2,000 notes. I don't think so. That much crowd are not here because of still time is there.
Cash deposit, if you buy above 1 to 2 lakh rupees above, 2 lakh PAN card is compulsory.
Yeah. So you're not expecting people to come?
No.
Well, as you heard from the market of Chickpea to here in Gandhi Bazaar, retailers have been telling us there's no significant impact of the 2,000 rupee banknote being withdrawn from circulation, at least not yet, with a few exceptions here and there. However, the window for exchange is going to be open for the next 4 months, so we'll have to see if people decide to use their cash to make some purchases instead of going to banks to exchange their notes. In Bengaluru, with camera person Manjunath, this is Ritu Singh.
Well, that was a quick look at some of the cities and how people are reacting to the decision of the Reserve Bank to pull out the 2,000 rupee note from circulation. As we've been pointing out, it's different from demonetization. There is no panic. There is no rush at this point in time. Anyway, the 2,000 rupee note had come down quite significantly in circulation from a peak of almost 36% at the time of 2018-2019, down to about 10%, 10.5% currently. So at this point in time, there are some exceptions, but more or less no great haste to exchange the 2,000 rupee note or buy using the 2,000 rupee note. We will head into a short break, but coming up next, relief for Go First. The company appellate tribunal allows the airline's voluntary insolvency proceedings to continue, but a big question mark on the airline's relaunch. Details when we return.
Zedlak Premium Agarbatti and Dhoop, official prayer partner, Delhi Capitals.
Samsung Solve for Tomorrow is a national education and innovation competition. This is your chance to make an impact for India. Don't miss the opportunity to win prizes. So join the Samsung Solve for Tomorrow today.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
Mission Swachhata Aur Pani. This is something to do with sanitization. It's something to do with clean water. It's something to do for the future of our country. It's for the people. It's by the people, and it's of the people. And I feel that it's very inspiring that our very own Prime Minister is someone who is taking his special care in this, because I guess we all understand how important this is for the development of any country moving forward.
Harpic News 18 मिशन स्वच्छता और पानी हेल्दी हम जब साफ रखे टॉयलेट सरदम।
पंजाब बदल रहा है, नई रफ्तार से चल रहा है। खेतों में उम्मीद उगी है, खड़ी फसल गुनगुना रही है, गीत बदलाव के गा रही है, पिंड में भांगड़ा मचल रहा है, पंजाब बदल रहा है। मुश्किल से मिलते हैं मुश्किल में साथी, यहां तो हरदम कोई खड़ा है। हर मोहल्ले का अपना क्लिनिक, फ्री में इलाज चल रहा है, पंजाब बदल रहा है। मोहाली बस स्टेडियम नहीं, स्टार्टअप का भी हब है अब। टेक्नोलॉजी के इस शहर को सबने इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए चुना है। हौसला यूथ का उबल रहा है, पंजाब बदल रहा है। आने वाले सुनहरे कल की देखो तो तैयारी। सरकारी स्कूल में अब तो शिक्षा मिलती है म्यारी। करप्शन पर जीरो टॉलरेंस, बिजली का बिल भी जीरो है। इस बदलते पंजाब में अब तो आम आदमी हीरो है। किया संकल्प के बदलेंगे, मंजिल पे जाके दम लेंगे। सोच नई, अप्रोच नई, नई रफ्तार से चल रहा है, पंजाब बदल रहा है। तरक्की का एक साल पंजाब के साथ।
Well, let's wrap up the stock market action. Started the week on a positive note. The Sensex gained over 200 points. Nifty gained over 100. IT and Adani stocks lifting the market today while the financials underperformed. The market cap of BSE companies rose to nearly 280 crore, which is the highest in 4 months. Adani Group's 10 stocks added 1 lakh crore rupees to their market value today to cross the 10 lakh crore mark. This marks its biggest rise since Hindenburg report in January. The group's flagship stock, that's Adani Enterprises, was higher by 18%, while conglomerate's edible oil arm Adani Wilmar shot up 19%. The remaining 8 Adani stocks all rallied a minimum of 5%. Expectations of fundraise by group entities also boosted sentiment. In major relief to cash-strapped Go First, the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal has upheld the NCLT's order, which allows the airline's voluntary insolvency proceedings to continue. Now, this means that lessors cannot take repossession of aircraft. However, lessors are free to raise the issue of lease termination and aircraft possession before the NCLT. Ashmit joins us now with the details. Ashmit, this is certainly relief for Go First, but still a big question mark on the airline's revival plan and relaunch.
Well, big relief coming in for the airline Go First. The NCLAT, we understand, has passed its judgment allowing for the voluntary insolvency proceedings of Go First that it had initially sought to continue. Now, what does that mean? What does that do? What that does is that it achieves two important objectives that the airline had set out for itself. Number one, the moratorium. The moratorium that was granted by the NCLT, the moratorium which restrained the lessors from taking back the planes, continues to be in effect because of this NCLAT judgment. That was the first key objective that Go First had in mind. The second was, of course, the appointment of the IRP. The NCLT order after the moratorium had asked for an IRP to be appointed and for the IRP to ensure that the status of the airline continues to remain as a going concern. That part of the order is also continues to be in effect. The IRP is free to operate under that NCLT order and is free to, in fact, operate the airline as and when is deemed fit by the IRP himself. Now, that's, of course, as far as the airline is concerned. But what about the lessors? Well, all is not lost. They had raised three key questions. Number one, they had argued that this petition that has been filed by Go First is malified. Number two, they had argued that they have outstanding claims. But thirdly, and most importantly, their concern was that they have terminated the leases of the aircraft. They should be allowed to take back possession. The NCLAT has not dismissed any of these contentions. In fact, has allowed them to raise all of these claims and contentions before the NCLT. So it's now for the lessors to raise these issues before the NCLT. So all is not lost. But broadly, a big takeaway, a big relief coming in for Go First. No stay on the moratorium, and the IRP is free to continue.
Ashwin, many thanks for joining us. And with that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of Business 360. Do stay tuned to CNBC-TV18. The news continues when we return after this short break.